Hi guys, it's about 11:30 right now, Easton. It's about 10:30 Central. I'm Stephen Boyle. Well, yeah, I know. I didn't do as many updates today as I wanted to. I'm gonna try to do as many between now and midnight as I can, but so this is what's going on. I was enjoying the beautiful day here. We had a gorgeous day today. Um, I'll talk about that on my regular update for the weather across the country. But yeah, Ernesto strengthened. And you're looking at the current particulars on Ernesto. 65 miles an hour is his sustained winds. There is a slight chance, and I'm saying a slight chance. The National Hurricane Center is still saying, hey, this thing is going to become a hurricane. There right now, yesterday I was saying, oh, there's no chance that he's going to become a hurricane. Today, I'm saying there's a slight chance because I do see it now, and I don't know if I can kind of argue against these hurricane warnings that they posted. But we'll just have to see on that. But there is a chance that Ernesto now can become a hurricane. This would be by tomorrow evening that he would become a hurricane. So we'll have to watch out for that. But essentially, you can see this track. I think this would be the northernmost track that Ernesto would take. Me personally, I believe that this is the northernmost track, and you'll see why in just 1 second. So this is again the model tracks, and these are these are not the GFS ensemble models, or this is the ensemble models. This is not the GFS ensembles here. This is the ensemble models, and you can sort of see these are a bunch of different models that are put out forecasting the same thing here. So you can sort of see there's still two models that are saying this thing is going to go to the United States. What are my feelings on this? Very, very unlikely. I can tell you that this is absolutely very unlikely. You can even now see that the majority of the models are taking this thing into Mexico, and it's really looking like he'll end somewhere in here. Why? Because, well, it looks like he's going to start to weaken as a tropical depression by that particular time. Now, this is the intensities. Now, the National Hurricane Center is actually, I could probably say that the National Hurricane Center, as well as some of these other models, are probably more correct. But this ship model, I don't know what this is saying, or the CHF5. These two models are saying that this thing is going to stay a hurricane for a while. Now, I want to look at the ship model. Where is the ship model? They don't have it on here, but I imagine it's probably in alignment with this LBAR model that has it going out and then going up towards the United States, because, or the CLP5 model, or the NAM, because well, this is actually the NAM right here, but you can sort of see these two models. They're just absolutely I don't see that happen. It's staying a hurricane for a prolonged period of time. But it's possible that that Ernesto could become a hurricane, at some point. But I don't think it's going to stay a hurricane. Now, you can sort of see that he will eventually weaken. You can see that the majority of the models at this particular time do say that he is going to, in about, I would say maybe about 5 days, 5 to 6 days, he's going to pretty much be dissipated. And you can sort of see that he'll be only down to 10 knots, which is about, we could probably say 11 miles an hour, the winds. So you can definitely see that the very, very weak by that time. Pretty much, we can generally say dissipated by the time he hits land, because you can see this big drop-off, and this big drop-off is when he hits land into Mexico and stays in Mexico. Alright, this is the GFS ensembles, and just look at this. I mean, There's this one model that takes it up into the Baja Peninsula of California, but overall, look at this. I mean, I don't think anybody could argue with this. If you're looking at this and you're a meteorologist, you're like, this is perfect. I mean, to see all of these together like this, I mean, I don't think you could get any more perfect than that. I mean, that is just pretty much all of the ensemble models are saying the same exact thing in general. So this, I would have to say, is probably fairly right, and I don't, like I said, I don't think I could disagree any less. So this is any less. This is the winds or the model intensities. Now you do see these two couple other ones that kind of down here show that he could, he'll do some other things, but overall, just look at this. I mean, all of these models are saying the same thing generally. Just look at the consistency. I mean, as a forecast meteorologist, one of the major things that you want to look at is consistency, and you also want to look at with consistency comes accurateness, and that's my personally that's what I believe when it comes in terms of models. The more consistent they are, the more accurate they are. And you can sort of see, and also when all of these models are saying the same thing, I mean, that also says something as well. This says that, now, the one thing with the GFS that I don't agree with totally is that, and this is what's sort of pulling me back from saying it'll still become a hurricane, is that look at all of these models, and all of these models say it's not going to become a hurricane. A hurricane is above 60 knots, or above like 60, I think that's about 70 miles an hour right here. If you look back here, you can see that it's above 60 knots. Okay, Category 1 is right here. So it doesn't look like, according to the GFS, that this will become a hurricane, but it's definitely possible, more possible than yesterday at this time. So, it is definitely possible that he could become a hurricane, but at this particular time, I'm not totally buying it. This is the particulars on Ernesto, and here is the one thing I disagree with. This says that Ernesto will become a hurricane yet again. That's not going to happen. All right, and even this particular track that they have him taken, going back out to sea, I'm still not buying that either. I'm fairly confident that he's going to take a track something like this. And actually, I will show you my track right here. This is my track. Look how small this track is. That's because if you look at this, look at this. I mean, it's pretty thin. I mean, like I said, I really don't think people could argue with this particular track, the track that the GFS is showing at this, at this particular time. So right now, this is what it looks like here. I may have to move this up just a tad north, but overall, this is what I think. It looks like Ernesto will take a track something like this. Something like that. I mean, like I said, overall it's the same thing here. He'll take a track something like this, and it looks like he is going to first become like I said, he could become a weak Category 1 hurricane tomorrow, but that would be for a brief time. Looks like he'll become a tropical, or he'll still be a weak tropical storm as he is in Mexico, and as time moves its way onward, he will continue to diminish to a tropical depression by sometime next Saturday. So this is what it's looking like at this particular time. This is my particular track. And essentially things are starting to close down with Ernesto. I do want to briefly talk about another concern I'm having, and I should have opened it up, but actually I will open it up here. Okay. Now, this is something I kind of want to show you. This is kind of important. This is a few models from yesterday and the first part of today. I didn't get to add in the other couple models of today. But this is a Storm, okay? All these models, this is the same GFS, this is the GFS model, and if you've looked at my other videos, I've said that there was a hurricane possible for the east sometime around the 20th to the 23rd, somewhere in that particular time period. Well, this is the models from the end of yesterday on into today. And I looked at the most recent GFS model, and they still have a hurricane within our region. Can see at this particular time there's this one here, this one would be really nasty, and then there's this one. Now this one had it going here, and where it went after that, it could have gone up something like this. I mean, you know, this is still far out, but again, the thing that they're having right now is a tropical storm or a hurricane. At this point it looks like a hurricane. I mean, this is pretty large, it's pretty intense. A lot of rain with it. This one, what the situation here is, if it were to take a track something like this, we are all in for it. I mean, New England, New York City, New Jersey, we're all in for it. If it were to take a track something like this, it would affect maybe the fringes of New England, okay, and eventually portions of Canada, like Nova Scotia, if you're watching from Canada, because I did get some comments on one of my videos from Canada. Or it could potentially come close to North Carolina and then right up the coast. Or do something like, now this is different though. Look at the position of where these hurricanes are, and actually they all have this particular hurricane somewhere positioned right here and then coming up like this, okay? This is different. We don't see a lot of these, okay? This is a lot different. We normally see hurricanes taking a track something like this, but this one is a bit farther to the north and positioned for a track into New England or the Northeast. So I did want to show you guys this because this is something of concern, and I did possess this concern back in the early spring. Also one of my other people I know up from Maine. Right now he's in Florida. He also possessed the same concern, and also a few others possessed the same concern back in the early spring, which was a potential hurricane that would hit the Northeast and in particular New England this upcoming August. And this is in that particular time period when we thought that this hurricane a hurricane could potentially threaten. So a model that's showing this is quite important in that it was for several different models over the course of over the past few days. That's a pretty intense thing. So I do want to kind of enforce the thought about that, and also the thoughts about, you know, we kind of want to start getting into a mode here of preparing. And once time gets closer to this particular event, I will, I'll start talking about preparation a little bit more. But this is something to watch. This is definitely very interesting and something I will continue to look at over the course of the next several weeks. So stay safe, everybody, and I hope you watch my other video on the weather across the country. Take care, everyone.